Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are wrestling with a concept that usually sets off alarm bells in the business world.
It definitely does.
Because, the old saying, right? If you want something done, you basically have three options: fast, cheap, or good.
Right. The classic project management triangle. And the golden rule is you only ever get to pick two.
Exactly. If you want it fast and cheap, it won't be good. If you want it good and fast, it's not going to be cheap. But today, we are looking at a stack of research. We've got market analysis on something called AICAHT, reports from Freshworks, Gartner, Sprinkler, and they're all claiming this iron law is currently being broken.
Completely broken.
Yeah, we're looking at a massive shift in the customer service world where companies are seeing reductions in handle times of 30 to 50% hitting in 2025.
It is a staggering number. I mean, in this industry, a 5% efficiency gain is usually cause for a champagne toast, so
Wow.
50% reduction. That is a total paradigm shift.
And the claim is they aren't just slashing quality to get there. They aren't just, hanging up on people faster.
No, quite the opposite, actually. But there is a catch. There's always a catch.
Always a catch. So the mission for this deep dive is to figure out how that is physically possible. How do you shave half the time off a phone call without destroying the customer experience?
Right.
But also, and I think this is where the research gets really gripping enough, we need to look at the human cost.
Right. The human element is crucial here.
Because there is a term in your notes that jumped out at me immediately: the vigilance tax.
Yeah, it's a critical concept. Buried in all these shiny efficiency reports is a real warning that we might be creating a pressure cooker for the human agents who are left in the loop.
So we have this paradox of speed, efficiency versus burnout. But before we get into the dark side of this, let's establish the baseline. Because to understand a 50% drop, you and I need to know what normal looks like right now.
Makes sense.
Like if I pick up the phone to call my bank or my doctor, how much of my life am I about to lose?
Well, it varies wildly by industry, but the sources give us some really great benchmarks for 2025. If you are calling a retailer, say you're asking about a return, or just, where are my shoes?
Important question.
Exactly. That's usually the fastest sector. The average handle time, or AHT, is about 3 minutes and 29 seconds.
Okay, that feels manageable. 3.5 minutes, I could live with that.
Sure. But if you move to financial services, you're looking at around 4 minutes and 5 seconds, and then you have the heavyweight, which is healthcare. The average interaction there is sitting at about 6.6 minutes.
Wow, almost 7 minutes, which I guess makes sense. Asking about a sweater size is very different from discussing a medical bill or a new diagnosis.
Precisely. Complexity drives time. But here is the nuance that most people miss, and it is crucial for understanding where these massive efficiency gains are actually coming from.
Okay, what are we missing?
When we say average handle time, we aren't just measuring the conversation you're having. AHT is a composite metric.
Break that down for us. What is actually in the formula?
It's talk time plus hold time, which we all know and loathe.
Oh, yeah.
But it also includes something called ACW, which stands for after call work.
After call work. So this is the stuff that happens after I hang up the phone.
Exactly. You hang up, you go about your day. But the agent, they are still there. They are categorizing the call, typing up notes, updating the CRM, scheduling the follow-up, tagging the sentiment. And this is the killer stat from the research. After call work often eats up 20 to 30% of the total handle time.
Wait, so on a 6-minute call, nearly 2 whole minutes might be the agent just staring at a screen, clicking boxes after the customer is gone.
Yes. And from a business perspective, that is dead time. The customer isn't being helped, and the agent isn't taking the next call. This is the low-hanging fruit. This is where AI is striking first.
That makes total sense.
We have data here from Freshworks showing that automated ACW tool, so AI that basically listens to the call and does all the paperwork for you, can cut documentation time by 50%.
So the agent hangs up. Instead of typing for 2 minutes, the AI just does it.
It summarizes the call, it updates the file, it even tags the sentiment. Like, was the customer angry? Were they happy? Freshworks found that workflow automation alone drives a 26.63% reduction in resolution time.
That is huge.
Yeah.
And honestly, that feels like a good kind of efficiency. You're removing the drudgery. The agent isn't burnt out from typing. They're just moving on to help the next human.
In theory, yes. It completely removes the clerical burden. But this brings us to the second layer of the tech stack. It's not just about cleaning up after the call. It's about fixing the problem during the call, or even before it happens.
Right, because saving time on notes is great, but if the agent still doesn't know the answer to my question, I am still on hold.
Exactly. And that is where large language models, or LLMs, are changing the game. We're seeing a massive shift toward what the industry calls agentic AI.
Agentic AI. That sounds a little sci-fi.
It is a massive leap from the chatbots we've all been annoyed by for the last 10 years. You know the ones. I didn't quite catch that. Please say it again. Oh, the worst. I just end up screaming, press 0 for operator.
Right, because those are just decision trees. If X, say Y, agentic AI can actually reason, understand context, and take action. The sources mention that generative AI-powered self-service is now driving ticket deflection rate of 53%.
53%. That means more than half the people calling don't even need to talk to a human anymore.
Exactly. And not because they gave up in frustration, but because the bot actually solved the issue. It understood the problem and fixed it. But for the 47% who do need a human, the experience is shifting dramatically because of something called smart routing.
Smart routing. Is that just a fancy name for press 1 for sales, press 2 for support?
No, that's the analog version. Smart routing in 2025 is analyzing your tone, your intent, and your history in milliseconds before the phone even rings on the agent's side.
So it knows I'm angry before the agent even picks up the phone. It knows you're angry. It knows you tried to reset your password 3 times yesterday and failed. It knows you visited the cancel subscription page this morning. And it uses all that data to route you specifically to an agent who is rated highly for retention and empathy.
That is impressive, but also a little intense. It's profiling me in real time.
It really is. But look at the results. We need to talk about FCR, which is first contact resolution. This is the holy grail metric in this world. The benchmark is that a 1% increase in FCR equals a 1% boost in customer satisfaction.
Which makes sense. If I have to call back twice for the same problem, I'm not happy.
Exactly. Financial services traditionally sit at about 65% FCR. That means 35% of people more than 1 in 3 have to call back.
It's a lot of wasted time.
It is. But the sources show that these AI implementations are pushing that FCR up to 85%.
That is a massive jump in quality.
It is. And there is a case study from JP Morgan mentioned in the source material that really highlights this. Now, it's not a contact center example strictly, but it illustrates the raw power of this tech. They used AI to interpret business credit agreements.
Which is incredibly dense legal stuff.
Oh, extremely dense. It used to take them 360,000 hours of human time annually.
360,000 hours? That's dozens of lifetimes.
The AI did it in seconds.
Seconds. Okay, I can't even process the math on that efficiency gain. That is mind-boggling.
It shows the sheer processing power we are dealing with. But for the contact center, the most sci-fi element is what they call predictive customer needs.
This is the part of the research I found genuinely spooky.
It is a bit spooky. Amazon's AI can apparently predict 35% of queries before they are even asked.
Okay, wait. So I log into the chat, and before I even type, "Where is my package?" it says, "Are you looking for the toaster you ordered?"
Exactly that. It looks at the probability. The user ordered a toaster. The delivery window is today. The user is on the help page. It is highly likely they want the toaster. It answers the question before you formulate it.
And in healthcare, this actually sounds vital, not just convenient.
It is absolutely vital. We know from the data that 30% of patients abandon a call if they wait more than a minute. In healthcare, an abandoned call isn't just a lost sale. It could be a serious medical risk.
Right.
So if the AI can pull the electronic health record instantly, so the agent knows your history, your meds, and your last appointment, the very second they say hello, you aren't wasting 3 minutes on, what's your date of birth? You are immediately solving the problem.
Okay, let's pause here. We have automated notes. We have smart routing. We have psychic AI predicting our problems. This sounds like a utopia for efficiency.
It really does. And the shareholders are thrilled. The numbers, remember that market projection from $4 billion to over $124 billion, it's all based on this massive efficiency.
But I feel a but coming.
There is always a but.
If the AI is handling 53% of the routine stuff the password resets, the simple transactions, what is actually left for the humans to do?
That is the pivot point. The role of the human agent is fundamentally changing. The sources are very clear on this. Humans are no longer there to be information switchboards. They are exclusively handling high-complexity, high-emotion interactions.
So the easy calls are just gone.
Completely gone. You never get a breather call anymore. In the old days, you might have a screaming customer and then 3 easy address changes where you could just mentally coast for a minute.
Just to catch your breath.
Right. But now, Gartner found that 91% of leaders are under pressure to implement AI, and 80% plan to transition agents into new, more complex roles. Every single call is a problem the AI couldn't solve.
And this brings up a really fascinating psychological nugget from the research on chatbot learning evidence.
Oh, chatbot learning evidence. This is such an interesting piece of psychology.
Unpack it for us. What does that mean?
It's basically a study on how we forgive machines. It found that when a bot explicitly admits, "I'm learning and improving," customer tolerance for failure actually increases. We cut it some slack.
So if the bot says, hey, I'm new at this, we treat it like a human trainee.
We do. We're surprisingly empathetic to the bot. But think about the workflow implication of that.
Yeah.
The customer tries the bot. They are patient at first, but then the bot fails. By the time that customer finally gets routed to a human, their patience is entirely exhausted.
Oh, I see. They have already tried the self-service route, hit a wall, and now they're done playing nice.
Exactly. So the human agent is catching a fastball every single time. A complicated problem, a frustrated customer who has already wasted time with a bot, and no easy wins to break up the day.
Wow. So the cognitive load, the mental weight of the job, is just skyrocketing. And this leads us directly into the dark side of this data. We are seeing a massive spike in what is called the vigilance tax. Let's really unpack this. I know 75% of contact center leaders are worried about agent well-being, but what exactly is the vigilance tax?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like something the IRS charges.
It does sound like that, but it's a cognitive cost. Imagine you are the agent. You are on a call with a very difficult emotional customer.
Okay, I'm there.
And as you are talking, an AI co-pilot is listening in. It pops up a script on your screen that says, offer a 10% discount.
Which seems helpful.
Maybe, but now you have a split brain situation. You have to listen to the customer and gauge their actual emotion. Are they actually angry or just loud? You have to check your own instinct.
Yeah.
And you have to read the AI's suggestion.
All at the same time.
Yes. And then you have to decide in a split second, is the AI right or is it being tone deaf?
Right, because if the customer is crying about a lost family heirloom, offering a 10% coupon is incredibly insulting.
Exactly. So the agent has to audit the AI in real time. That extra cognitive effort to monitor, evaluate, and potentially correct the system that is supposed to be helping you, that is the vigilance tax. You aren't just doing the job anymore, you are supervising the machine.
There was a quote in the source material that really stuck with me. An agent actually said, I feel like I'm in a driving test that never ends.
That is the perfect analogy. Think about a driving test. You know how to drive, but you are hyper-aware of being scored. You are tense. Your hands are at 10 and 2. Modern systems now score 100% of calls.
Wait, 100%? It used to be your boss listened to maybe 1 or 2 calls a month for quality assurance.
Yeah, not anymore. Now the algorithm scores every single pause, every deviation from the script, every sentiment shift. So even if the agent completely delights the customer and solves the problem, if they didn't use the exact phrase the AI prompted, they might get docked points, or at least they fear they will.
It sounds like a panopticon, just constant, unending surveillance.
It creates a permanent state of high alert. And the cost of that stress is very real. 87% of agents report high stress levels. And attrition, the rate at which people quit, has jumped from 42% in 2022 to 60%.
60% turnover. That is entirely unsustainable. You're essentially replacing your entire workforce every year and a half.
And it is wildly expensive. Replacing a single agent costs between $30,000 and $40,000 when you factor in recruiting, training, and the ramp-up time to get them proficient.
So the companies are saving all this money on efficiency with AI on the front end, but they might be blowing it out the back door by burning through their staff.
That is the deep irony here. The tools were meant to reduce cognitive load. Here, let me write your notes for you. But because they have turned into these digital supervisors, they're actually increasing the pressure.
So we have this paradox. We want the speed. We want the 30 to 50% reduction in handle time. But we can't treat the humans like robots or they will just leave. How do we fix this? What does the design for 2026 actually look like?
The sources offer some really concrete solutions for this. It starts with shifting the entire philosophy from control to support.
What does that mean in practice, though?
Well, transparency is number one. Agents need to know exactly how the scoring works. It cannot be a black box algorithm that just judges them from on high. If the AI scores a call poorly, the agent needs to be able to see why, and crucially, they need to be able to challenge it.
Right, so they actually know the rules of the game they're playing.
Exactly. Secondly is autonomy. This is huge. Agents must be empowered to override the AI without any penalty. If the AI says, read this legal disclaimer, but the agent knows the customer's about to cry and needs empathy first, the agent needs to be able to make that call without fearing their scorecard will turn red.
That makes total sense, trusting the human to actually be human.
Yes. And this requires a fundamental role redesign. We need to stop thinking of these people as phone answerers or just entry-level labor. If they are handling the complex 47% of issues that the AI simply cannot touch, they are actually highly skilled problem solvers. We should be calling them AI outcome managers.
That's a great title.
Yeah.
But are there metrics that actually reflect this new reality? Because if we just keep measuring average handle time, aren't we just pushing them to go faster regardless of how complex the problem is?
You are spot on. If you give an agent a complex problem, but measure them on a metric designed for simple problems, you create instant burnout. The sources suggest moving beyond just AHT to look at total resolution time and, crucially, employee satisfaction. You cannot have high customer satisfaction with miserable employees.
Is there proof that this balanced approach actually pays off? Or is this just kind of wishful thinking from the industry?
No, there is proof. The Sprinkler source notes a potential 210% ROI over 3 years. And it is a very big but that return is only possible if the human element is stabilized. If you have 60% attrition, you will never see that ROI because you are constantly training new people.
So the money is there, but
Wait,
you have to treat your people right to actually get it.
Precisely. The efficiency requires stability. You can't build a race car if the wheels keep falling off.
Okay, let's bring this all together. We have moved from a world of manual data entry, and please hold while I look that up, to a world of AI-driven speed. We are seeing handle times drop by half. We are seeing market values for this tech explode to over $120 billion.
But we have created a pressure cooker. We have stripped away the easy work and left the humans with the hardest, most emotional tasks, all while an algorithm watches over their shoulder.
It really feels like we're at a crossroads for 2026.
We are, and I think the final question for everyone listening, whether you run a customer service team or you're just calling one, is this dilemma of the algorithm never blinks.
What is that dilemma exactly?
As we move forward, are we building technology that empowers agents to use their judgment? Are we giving them superpowers? Or are we building systems that quietly train them to stop thinking for themselves because it is simply safer to just follow the prompt?
That is a heavy thought. If we train people to just follow the blue dot on the screen, do they lose the ability to actually help us when we need it most?
And when the machine breaks, and it always breaks, eventually who is left to fix it?
That is something for you to think about the next time you're on the phone with support and you hear that long pause. They might just be arguing with their AI.
Very likely.
Check your own vigilance tax today, everyone. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
See you next time.